Hello, hello, hello. This is Patricia of JourneyToBestMe.com. This is day one of the free 5-day challenge. Unleash you, begin again, and finish strong. This is day one. So giving a few seconds here and we're going to get started with our challenge. Like I say, this is day one. And once again, those that are new or me, of course, my name is Patricia Wright. Of course, I'm the founder of this group, Women Living Unleashed, and the founder Living Unleashed Circle, as well as the founder of JourneyToBestMe.com. And I'm all about helping women to unleash her, walk in her power and purpose, and create her extraordinary life by design. And I'm serving as a mindset and purpose coach. So like I say, this is day one of our challenge here. So I'm going to give it a minute. And then we're going to get started and kick it off because it's time to finish strong. And as I said, when I say finish strong, it's not just finish strong for this year. You know, we're at the end of October. Of course, tomorrow, Halloween, very last day of October. We only have, 61 days left in the year. But it's not finish strong for this year, even though we're almost at the end of the year. But it's when I say finish strong, this meaning finish strong in life. It's time to live the life, live your dream, no matter how you define it. But it's time to create and live your dream. That's finish strong. And every time you take an action to make your dream a reality, to me, that's finishing strong. That's putting in the work to finish strong so that you can live your dream. And like I say, and begin. I say begin again. But you may not, you actually, whether you need to begin again or begin, I think all of these things that I'll be going over the next 5 days apply. So it's whether you need to begin again or whether you need to begin, you need to start. Maybe you never started or you're just now starting to pursue your dream for this year. But like I say, I call it begin again because I know from my own experience from starting, stopping, beginning, stopping, beginning, ending, beginning again. So starting and stopping. And that's why I created this challenge. But everything that I'll be going over, it applies whether you're starting anew or just now starting. That's why. So once again, welcome. And like I say, this is day one of Unleash You, Begin Again, and Finish Strong challenge, which we are all starting, pursuing our dreams no matter what, and finishing strong by living your dream. And what I'm talking about is actually seven simple strategies that has helped me. What I'll be talking about as we go each day is sharing my 7 simple strategies that has helped me to, when I've falling off the wagon or life come, because stuff happens, life happens, and it can be so dramatic at times that you may have to put a pause on pursuing your dream or actually pursuing your dream or living your dream. So you may have to put a pause on it, and then it's just for various reasons, or your own, our own habits per se, our own or bad habits or not so good habits cause us to delay or fall off the wagon per se. But what I'm sharing is the 7 simple strategies that have helped me to get back in the game, stay in the game always. And like I say, even if you start now, like I say, life happens, stuff happens, you may fall off again. But it's these, just applying those simple strategies and what I'll be talking about over the next 5 days, so that you stay focused, and also creating that successful framework that I'll be sharing later on as we continue on with that success framework and the elements or the tools that should be in your success framework, sharing those things to help you stay on track and, reduce the possibility of actually falling off again, and this time really finishing strong by living your dream however you define it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, once again, my name is Patricia Wright. I am the founder of JourneyToBestMe.com, serving as a mindset and purpose coach, all about helping women unleash her, walk in her power and purpose, and create her extraordinary life by design. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And as I said, in the challenge, or on the page when you sign up, the challenge was all about creating for the woman who's ready to start anew, with walking in her power and purpose, and finally creating the life that she desires and deserves by design. And which, like I say, if you're beginning again or starting anew, and I talked about the number one thing that you must do, and actually it's more than one thing, but I'm going to talk about and as covering two of the strategies, but it's the things that you must do when you're beginning or starting anew. And the first thing is you must let go of what was or where you should be. I know sometimes we can get caught up, or we're looking at our lives and looking at, oh, I should be, or we may have had this pre-planned out thing of, I should be this far along, or I should be at this point in my life, such and such, or I should have such and such. Or if things have happened, past experience of letting those things go. But it's going back to, is making sure that you learn the lesson. So that strategy, 7 simple strategies is first 2 strategies, learning the lessons of those past experiences, and then also letting them go, for what they are, learning the lessons and applying the lessons, and then letting them go so that you can move forward. Because if you keep reliving or going back to that place, or going back to what used to be or what was, then you're going to stay in the past, and it's very hard to move forward when you're constantly on that looking back page, looking back per se. So it makes it hard to move forward. So learn the lessons, go back, and I want to challenge you to look at where you are now and making sure, and just go back over your life and looking at the experiences, especially the negative ones. But there is something to learn in every experience, whether it's a not so good one or a good one, but especially the not so good one. Go back and look at, and just take your back in time at this moment to learn the lesson, and ask yourself, what was the lesson in this opportunity? What was the lesson in this experience? And then also want to ask the question, what is the opportunity? And knowing some of you actually may be going through the same lesson. I did a post, but learning the lesson, or if you learn the lesson, or you still going around the same mountain. I think I even have a video on my YouTube channel about circling the same mountain. And all that is until you learn the lesson, you will keep repeating the experience. So you will keep finding yourself in situations until you learn whatever that lesson that God or higher power wanting you to know, that you need to know. And it's changing your perspective, because it's all about preparing you for your future, your greater, your dream. Because there are some things in it, and I've come to learn from my own experience, is, everything is preparing you for your greater. And if you look at it that way and change your perspective to look at it that way, it may not at the time, it may, of course, may not feel good, look good, it's hurt like hell, but it's all preparing you for your greater. And if you shift your perspective to look at things that way, and actually from my own coach and mentor, Melissa Farr, which I learned this, and asking yourself questions, which I've said the best way to connect with yourself is to ask yourself questions. So I want to challenge you just to go back, and you can say it's homework or a challenge for you to just go back and look at, all your experiences, and ask yourself the question, what's the lesson, or what was the lesson to be learned in that experience? And then also, what was the opportunity? Because there's an opportunity, but sometimes that experience is so, so hurtful or damaging, or no doubt that brings us, it's so painful that we're not thinking about an opportunity, or we're not thinking about a lesson, or we're not thinking about how can I take this, learn from this, and help someone else so that they don't have to go through what I just went through, or, or help someone to come up. Maybe someone is going through that, and then maybe I can share how I made it through, or so forth. So it's always something to learn to help someone else. And if you look at it, or start looking at your experiences that way, that helps. And it's also great if you don't journal, please do. If you don't, I'm sure by now we may have heard all the benefits of journaling. And it's an awesome thing to journal. So if you're not journaling, journal gets you there's all kinds of journals out there, pretty one, or you could just buy plain notebook. I have several journals as well as plain notebook, when they go back to school, the little notebooks that they have for 99 cents, less than $1 or something, and load up on those and write in those. But write, journal, capture your thoughts. Of course, I have my own little black book for that. I think I've shared this. I have another for capturing my thoughts or ideas, new ideas. I capture that in my little black book or my little black journal that I have. So I got multiple notebooks and journals that I have as well. So writing those lessons down, so you can go back and review them and ask yourself, not only the lessons, but what is the opportunity, or what was your thoughts or feelings around these things, or, at that time, and capturing that. And so that you can come back and use that. Because also, by the way, when you're journaling and writing these things down, guess what? You may be going to be writing a book in the near future. And your journal, your notes, great content, great for your book. Or, if you're an online entrepreneur, or you have business and you do social media, your posts, whatever, newsletter, whatever, great content for sharing, so you can look at it and think about using that multiple different ways whenever you're ready to share and feel that the time is right to share. But the key thing is going back, learning the lessons, and also asking that second question, like I said, was the opportunity in that lesson? And then how can I share this to help someone else? That's the key. Because when you think about it, I know we all have a God-given dream, and we all have a purpose, whether you believe that or not. And our purpose, our overall purpose, is actually to serve and help others. It's not necessarily about us per se. We're the vessel used to fulfill God's purpose, His overall purpose. And it just so happened, as we do that, we also get to live our dream and live an amazing and exciting, adventurous, fulfilled life in the process, as well as living out His purpose for our lives. And we also get to make that impact that we desire to make, and make the impact, create the money, that you desire to create or make in your life. All of those things are possible when we pursue our dream, our God-given dream, pursue our true heart's desire, which God gave it to us anyway. So, but the first one, like I say, learning the lesson, and then, as I say, let go and let the past be what it is, the past. The other key thing, number one thing, or I could say second thing, I think I said number one, but the other second thing is forgiveness. The power of forgiveness. You have to forgive yourself and forgive others, but more importantly, forgive yourself. And like I say, I know we can get caught up about where we are, where we should be, or I didn't do this, or I did this and I shouldn't have did this, or I should have did this, but it's forgive yourself, forgive others, but especially forgive yourself. And get back in the game, believing in yourself. Believe that you have everything that you need to make your dream a reality. You have everything. There's nothing, because when you have a dream given to you by God, when you have this desire, and you know that you do, we all have one, God-given desires that we have, He put that in us. So there's no way He would not give us what we need to fulfill those things. Fulfill the dream, whatever it is. It may seem impossible, but I know we allow fear, and this is the thing, fear, limiting beliefs that we've had, that I'll be talking more about as we go, but all of those things to keep us stuck, or worrying about what someone say or what someone might do, or if you may offend somebody. But this is your life, and we only get one life. And that's the thing, is we only get one. And it's why continue to live your life being unfulfilled and unhappy and not pursue your God-given dream. As I've said before, the graveyard is filled with so many people that didn't pursue their dream. They allowed their dreams to die with them for various reasons, but I don't want that to be you. I most definitely don't want it to be me, and it won't be me, you know. And as you can see, I got my vision board actually, again, I posted on the wall, and actually need to add some more stuff to it. But my vision board here that I got, and I suggest that you create one. If you don't have one, create yours, so that someplace, and put it someplace where you see it every single day and focus on it. Because as it's, where it's the saying, you know, energy grows where energy goes. Energy grows where energy goes. So whatever you focus on, you know, and the more you focus on it, the more energy, whether that's something negative or something positive. So the more you focus on it, the more you think about it, the more energy gets directed to that thing, you know. And why not harness that into making your dream a reality? Why not put all that focus, instead of focusing on the negative things, or focusing on, you know, what if this failed, what if it doesn't work, but focus on making it work, and, you know, saying what, you know, this is going to work, and how you will feel when it does work, you know, when it does become a reality. Instead of focusing on the negative, direct that energy towards the positive. So the number two things, or I said number one, but it's actually two things. That is learning the lesson in every experience, and asking yourself, you know, what is the lesson? What is the opportunity? And then how can I use this to help someone else? So ask yourself, I want to challenge you to go back and ask yourself those three questions and write it down. And so you'll have it for every experience, especially every not so good experience or negative experience, so that you can have it and start applying the lesson, as well as sharing, you know, to help someone else. And then the other thing, once you do that, is, of course, letting it go, letting the past be the past. Second is forgiveness. You know, it's very hard to move forward in life, to create your dream, if you're still harboring, you know, hostility or anger, or you've given away your power to someone, no matter what that situation is, or what the past, you know, you may have been hurt terribly or abused, but you have to find some way to forgive the other person, forgive yourself, you know. Or if you, like I say, maybe you not where you're wanting to be, you know, you have to let go and forgive yourself, and focus on the here and now, and what can you do each day, starting here and now, and just focus one day at a time. What can I do today? What am I going to do today? What are my actions for today to help me, you know, take action today and keep moving forward and make my dream a reality, to finish strong. And like I say, finish strong, as I said earlier, is all about making your dream a reality. It's not necessarily finishing strong for 2017, but it's all about finishing strong by making your dream a reality. That's what I mean by finish strong. So those are the number two things, or the number one thing, number 1 and 2, or 1A or 1B, things that you must do when it comes to beginning again, or beginning, period, and finishing strong by creating your dream, making your dream a reality, is letting go, learning the lesson, asking yourself those three questions that I talked about. And then also I want to ask, you know, challenge you tonight, you know, is there someone that you need to forgive? You know, and from my own experience, and I did a post about this, conversation with a stranger. And I titled that is because it was a stranger per se, because we had no history, no friendship, no relationship, but I know her, I know of her, and I know some things about her because I have been following her. But I've had two incidents, actually, but the one major one was a conversation with Dr. Venus Opal Reese. And if some of you she's the Black Women Millionaire Mentor. She's on Facebook, social media. So she's not totally a stranger. Like I say, I've been following her. I desire to work with her, still do. And I've also actually met her in person at one of her Black Woman Millionaire tours in Atlanta a couple of years back. And it was having a conversation with her, because she was having conversations, chat sessions with people that wanted to work with her. but it was having a conversation with her. And if you know anything about Dr. Venus Oprah Reese, she's raw and real. She does not hold punches, and she does not beat around the bush. So if you're kind of sensitive, you may not want to talk to her, or you may want to build up your sensitivity, or build up your skin, have that thick skin before you talk to her, because she flat out told me, even though I thought I had put in the work and done something, put in the work and whatever, and it was actually having a conversation with her, that she just basically laid it all out and blasted me, per se, about a lot of things that, even my friends haven't told me, family hadn't told me. And one of the things was, she was saying, I had built up this defensive wall or defensive response all the time, and I didn't even realize it. And then the other thing she told me was, until I healed my relationship with my father, then I was blocking, or her exact words, until I healed that relationship with my father, I was blocking all kinds of shit. Those were her exact words. And it was, and I thought I had done that, actually. But it was having this conversation, like I say, conversation with a stranger, that she just really called me on a lot of stuff. And I'm glad that she did. And like I say, I'm used to her, so I knew she's raw and real. But I was also needing to hear that. It hurt, it stung, won't lie. And but I was open for that feedback, because I'm like, okay, here's the black woman millionaire mentor, and okay, the woman's helping people making millions. She's a millionaire, multimillionaire herself. So I'm gonna listen to her, because I want to get to where she's at. So, and it was that conversation with her, as I realized that, no, I haven't really truly forgiven my father. And even though my father's been dead since 2009, I actually wrote a letter to my father, and then I read it and burned it afterwards. And that was very, that was the way I did forgiving, because like I say, my father's no longer alive. He was been dead since 2009. But it was having that conversation. So I want to challenge you, just like she challenged me and brought that to me, who do you need to forgive? And like I say, and go deep, because this was deep. It wasn't even on my radar. Who do you need to forgive so that you can begin again, or even begin and finish strong and making your dream a reality? So that's the kind of the two things, is learning the lessons and asking, when it comes to the lessons, those three questions. What is the lesson? What's the opportunity? And how can you use that to help someone else? And then who do you need to forgive right now, so you can clear the path and stop holding yourself back? Because whether you realize it or not, and as a mindset and purpose coach, that deep down buried, whatever that is that you need to let go and forgive, that is preventing you from moving forward. That is preventing you from unleashing you and, creating your dream by design, walking in your power and purpose. And that work has to be done. So those are the, like I said, the number one thing, or 1A, 1B, that you must do in order to unleash you and walk in your power and purpose and start creating your extraordinary life by design. And like I say, are there any questions? If I'm going through, if you have any questions, like I say, we're going to ask some questions at the end, or leave that time spot open for that, to capturing that. But like I say, that's the number one thing that you must do. And like I say, over and that corresponds to strategy 1 and 2, by the way. So like I say, 7 simple strategies. That is 1, 2, those strategies that you must do. Learning the lesson, and then forgiveness. So that's the strategy 1, strategy 2. And when it comes to those things, like I say, those 3 questions. And also I want to talk about, when you're on your path, or when you step out, whether you're beginning or beginning again, one of the things is stay on your path. From my own experience, and I know it can be easy sometimes to get caught up, and that's comparison. It's stay on your path, whatever your dream, whatever that vision you have for your life, that is your path. Stay on it, and don't get caught up in comparison. And I know this day and age where we got so many people and friends on Facebook and Instagram and, all the social media, even people that, we're following may not necessarily be friends or whatever, but we're looking at them, we're looking at their posts, looking at what they post concerning their lives or where they are in their business or whatever, their careers or whatever. And we're looking at that. And, it's so easy to sometimes get caught up in social media, especially when it's not, if that's not part of your job or if it's not part of your business, you're on there for business, your own business purposes. Sometimes it can get easy to get caught up and just scrolling through for hours and hours and hours. And then you find yourself comparing where this person's at and where you're at. And if you're not careful, then of course the green-eyed monster comes in, and you kind of start judging yourself, judging this other person, but more importantly, judging yourself, which you don't want to do, because judging, of course, that keeps you stuck. Anything negative, let's just put it that way. When it comes to feelings and emotions that pops up and they're constant negative, of course, you want to quickly identify that and release that. You want to stay on the positive side and keep your energy up. But more importantly, like I said, that don't fall for the comparison trap, because it robs you. You are exactly where you need to be, and you have everything that you need right now to start taking action to begin again, or to begin walking in your power and purpose and creating your dream life, your dream by design, your extraordinary life by design. You have everything that you need, and you are exactly where you need to be right now, where you're meant to be right now. Because when you think about it, and it's not necessarily religion, but of course, they're believing in a higher power. And for me, that's God and his son, Jesus, and believing that he's in complete control, and knowing that he is in complete control. And that, of course, if I'm meant to be somewhere else, he would have me there. And letting go of the reins, and that's letting go of control. If you're a control freak, or wanting to control everything, then you're going to have to let go. And if you haven't learned that lesson yet, you can't control anything. You can't be in control all the time. You would drive yourself bananas trying to be in control all the time. And when it comes down to it, the only person that you can control is yourself. And it's more importantly, you can only control how you respond or how you show up or what actions you take. But being in control all the time will drive you crazy. And then when it comes to your life, is kind of relaxing the reins and just allowing God to show up, and, going through life and preparing and staying open to what he has planned for you each day. Because, it's often been said, we plan, but he is the ultimate planner, and his plans are not our plans. His ways are not our ways. So we may have something planned out, but if it's not in alignment with what his plan and his purpose for us, then of course plans don't work out. And I'm sure we've all experienced that. So it's like, okay, and that goes back to one of the things that I'll be talking about is, part of your success framework, or tools that you should have in your success framework that we'll be talking about a little later. But that's also just staying in touch and in tune, and I call it in touch with a higher power, but in touch and in tune with yourself, your inner spirit as well. We listen to our inner critic. If we will spend more time listening to our inner spirit instead of our inner critic, and it takes some work, I know, but we're so wired to listening to our inner critic. And our inner critic, or I call it also referred to as the inner snake, and that's also where where the fear, the limiting beliefs that keeps coming up and whispering in our ear, especially when you step out and do something different that you've never done before, or, especially when it comes to pursuing your dream or up-leveling your life, and, you've never done that, or you're opening yourself up to something new, or expanding to something new that you've never done or never encountered, never experienced before, then, of course, the inner snake comes around
and we listen to that. And it could be that maybe you heard those negative messages for so long. Of course, they're part of your belief system, that fear, those negative words, and here's an example, who do you think you are? Nobody's going to listen to you. Nobody's going to buy such and such, or you're not good enough, or maybe you heard those things, but they're all lies. And that's what I call the inner snake, the inner critic. But if we're work on, and it takes some work, but if we'll work on listening to our inner spirit, which that's where all the answers concerning us lie. If we spend time at each day getting tuned in, and as I say, getting tuned in and turned on to us, into our inner spirit, and be guided by the inner spirit, it's making this so much easier, and then eliminates a lot of the overwhelm and frustration when we get tuned in and turned on to our inner critic. Okay, so now go ahead, let me see, what time is it? And ask, are there any questions or anything about what I'm talking about? Are there any questions or any comments, on what I'm putting down, if it's making any sense or you're confused about it, let me know, comment, let me know as well. And even for the people that's going to watch the replay, if it's not making sense, or if you have some comments or questions about it, drop a comment below to let me know. I'm answering. Like I say, the challenge goes through Friday. We're off all 5 days as well. All 5 days going through to Friday as well. So let me know if you have any questions or comments. But that's the main thing, when you come to beginning again. And then tomorrow, of course, going to be talking about, how to eliminate overwhelm, and then getting back to this. Your dream, your vision. What is your vision? That's what we'll talk about tomorrow, because your vision, your dream, that's your roadmap. So getting back to that and staying focused on that as well. And then also probably leading into how to create your success framework as well. So, but for today, I wanted to talk about, learning the lesson, because we're we're constantly caught up in this going hype. I'm not a fan of just going or getting caught up in the hustling and grinding that I've talked about before. So I think I even got a video about it, so it's not new, but it's hustling and grinding and you get caught up in that, because everybody's posting that, everybody's talking about that, and you get caught up in that, and you find yourself grinding yourself into dust, and you still haven't made any progress. So whatever you do, don't get caught up in that. That's getting back to, like I say, spending that time listening to your inner spirit and have divine guidance, and believe and trust that you have divine guidance and support, and taking the action, and taking the inspired action. So taking the action that you know to take, and taking the inspired action as well. But like I say, beginning again, or beginning is, from your current, where you are, learning those experiences, learning the lessons from those experiences, letting go and forgiving, letting go of where you should be. As I said, I was on a call last Monday, and there's a lady, she's 66. That's what I say, it's never too late. This lady is 66, and she's just now stepping out and pursuing her dream, taking action to make her dream a reality, to create the life that she desired, to have the experiences that she desired to have and want to have, and live the life that she desired. And she's just now starting. So it's never too late. So if you're sitting there thinking that you're too old, or you don't have what you have, as long as you're alive, I'm a firm believer, it is never too late. And as I said at the beginning, we all have a purpose. And as long as we're still alive, it's never too late to step out and start taking action and fulfill that purpose. God has has a purpose for our lives. And so it's letting go of these things letting go of where you should be, and then also forgiveness. It is key. And the power of forgiveness, is all about, it is not necessarily about the other person, but it's more important about you taking back your power. As I've done a previous challenge, walk in your power, because we have power. And as women, we are very powerful. And it's owning that power, taking back that power, and understanding that you have power. Every one of us have power. And like I say, I think as women, it's biased. I think we as women are even more powerful, and we are creative beings, so we can create whatever it is that we desire to create. But it's owning that power and understanding that you have power and taking control of your power, taking back your power. And if there's still someone that you need to forgive, then you may not want to hear it or believe it, but you've given away your power. And a prime example of that is there someone that when just the mention of their name or you think about them, you just get all, just all tense, tight, or negative towards that person? And in that case, you've given away your power. There's something there where that person, you've allowed that person to take your power away. And so here it's all about forgiveness, is taking back your power, so that you can move forward. And even if that person is you, forgiving yourself so you can take back your power and continue to move forward with making your dream a reality. So this is day 1 of Unleash You, Begin Again, and Finish Strong. And like I say, the 2 strategies here was learning the lesson, and then the other one was forgiveness. So now I said that corresponds to the number 1 thing that you must do, whether you're beginning again or just beginning. You must, learning the lesson. And when it comes to that, just to recap, learning the lesson, like I say, ask yourself, what is the lesson in the experience? What is the opportunity? And then how can I use this to help someone else, which is key. And if you shift your perspective to start thinking that way from now on, that makes it so much better. And that last question, when you look beyond yourself, or go beyond yourself, when you think about helping someone else, that just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. It's like, how can I take this to help someone else? When it's just something about helping others, helping someone else. How can I take this to help someone else? I think that puts a whole new shift on any experience that you may have. And then when it comes time to it, is taking the time, like I say, writing all that down. And when you're ready, or when the time is right, to share. You don't have to share everything, but share that, because there is someone waiting on you to show up. And I just sent this, to my email list. Do you believe that there's someone several someones waiting on you to show up in life and walk out your purpose? There is, because like I said earlier, our overall purpose is to help and serve someone else. So there's someone waiting on you to show up and give what only you can give, whether that's your story, whether that's and share it, whether that's your story, your experience, your knowledge, your skill, your talent, your gift, whatever that is. There are several someones waiting for you to show up and start walking in your power and purpose, and walking in fulfilling your dream, because they're waiting on you. They're waiting. Whatever you have is the answer. That's what they're waiting on. Whatever they're needing to hear, they're wanting that or needing that from you to help them get to move up, elevate, and to walk in their power and purpose as well. So it's all about unleashing you, like I say, walking in your power and purpose, and finally creating your extraordinary life by design. Once again, this is Patricia, and I will see you guys on day 2. Like I said, if you're watching the replay, or if you have any questions or come back and think of something or comments or whatever, just drop a comment below, and I will, of course, review them and bring it up or talk about it as we go along as well. Once again, this is Patricia, conclude day 1 of Unleash You, Begin Again, and Finish Strong challenge.